First and foremost, happy feast day of our Holy Father, Saint Dominic de Guzman. Friends, seekers, fellow travelers on the path of faith, grace and peace to you on this wonderful day, the feast of Saint Dominic de Guzman. Today, August 8th, 2025, we don't merely recall a man buried by 8 centuries. We stand before a living fire, a flame kindled not for destruction, but for illumination, for warmth, for the fierce consuming love of God and the salvation of souls. Our Holy Father, Dominic de Guzman, still burns today. Picture him not as a distant statue robed in stone, but as a man walking the dusty roads of the Languedoc in southern France in the 13th century. He saw a world fractured not by pandemics or digital divides, but by a profound spiritual famine. The Albigensian heresy offered stark, despairing answers, denying the goodness of creation, the incarnation of God becoming man, and so the very hope of redemption of both the soul, the body, the world. And what did Dominic see? Not enemies to crush, but souls to be won back by truth. His power wasn't in the sword, but in the sandals worn thin by relentless travel. It wasn't in political maneuvering, but in the radical poverty he embraced. A deliberate stripping away of privilege, so his voice and the gospel he proclaimed could be heard clearly and authentically. Arm yourself with prayer rather than a sword. He urged his brothers. His weapon was veritas, truth. He never compromised the truth with a sentimentality that was typical of those led astray by the heresy. Although his commitment to the truth was unwavering, he always paired it with compassion. He led those who listened to both understanding and obedience. But here is the profound insight, the heart of Dominic's enduring power. Truth for him was inseparable from love, and both demanded compassionate encounter. He didn't hurl doctrines from an ivory tower. He walked into the confusion, the doubt, and the darkness. He sat down, he listened, he debated, yes. Fierce intellect was honed by deep study, the foundation of the order of preachers that he would found. But he debated with tears in his eyes. An endearing story tells of him weeping through the night, crying out, Lord, what will become of sinners? His compassion was not sentimental. Rather, it served as the fuel that ignited his zeal. He understood that light needs bearers. He didn't just preach. He gathered. He ignited the fire in others, men and women, sending them out, 2 by 2. Not with material wealth, but with the wealth of learning, prayer, and that same burning charity. The Dominicans became the house of the Lord, Dominicanes, not snarling in aggression, but tirelessly tracking down souls lost in the thickets of error, guided by the scent of divine truth. They carried lanterns, symbols of the light Dominic carried with him, the light of Christ he sought to share even in the deepest night. In our own fractured age, where truth is often shouted down, relativized into meaninglessness, canceled out, or weaponized for division, where despair and cynicism whisper their own modern heresies, where connection is digital, but communion feels fragile. St. Dominic's witness is not just relevant, it is essential. He calls us to be bearers of the light, not hiding our Catholic faith and identity, but letting the reasoned, compassionate truth of Christ shine through our words and our actions. To study, to understand, and to articulate the hope within us. He calls us to compassionate encounter, to step out of our comfort zones, our ideological bunkers, and meet people where they are. Not to condemn first, but to understand, to listen, and to love, to weep for the lost and the hurting. He calls us to radical dependence, to shed the excesses that muffle the gospel, trusting not in worldly power or prestige, but in the power of prayer, humility, and authentic witness. He calls us to community. We are not solitary lanterns. We need each other, like those first friars, to fan the flames, to support, to correct, and to preach together the saving word. Dominic built a brotherhood grounded in prayer, study, community, and mission. His legacy isn't just an order, vast and influential as it is. His legacy is a way of being, a way of holding truth fiercely and tenderly, a way of seeking souls with the passion of Christ Himself, and a way of walking through the world's darkness, carrying an unquenchable inner flame. So today, as we honor Saint Dominic, let us not simply admire the fire from afar. Let us draw near, Let us catch the spark by His passionate love for Christ, His burning zeal for souls, His unshakable dedication to truth spoken in love, and His profound compassion ignite within us. May we too become bearers of that holy light, walking the roads of our time, lanterns held high, whispering and sometimes shouting the eternal word of hope, veritas, truth, Jesus Christ. Saint Dominic de Guzman, light of the church, teacher of truth, rose of patience, ivory of chastity, preacher of grace, lover of souls, bearer of the light, pray for us. Amen.